Hello everybody. Today I am going to discuss about the unit 3, that is industrial production, estimation and utilization of certain phytoconstituents. So today I am going to discuss about two drugs, forskolin and dioxazine, which are coming under pharmaconomy and phytochemistry 2 of B Pharm 5th semester according to Pharmacy Council of India syllabus. So let me start about the forskolin. Or the biological source, it is a diterpenoids isolated from the tuberous roots of the Indian medicinal plant Coleus forskolli, family Labiati. Now it is the family name has been changed, that is Lamiaceae. Or the production, commercial production is nothing but an extraction from its only known natural source. So we can say here that natural source, the drug which are coming from the natural source, that is being extracted out for commercial production, although commercial production is much more valuable and it is in a suppose in a greater quantity or large quantity of forskolin is being needed, so in that case commercial production is necessary. But here it is said that natural source, the drug which is coming from the natural source is nothing but the commercial production. So the reported protocols are not suitable. The protocols which are being available, reported protocols are not suitable to produce forskolin in an industrial scale. However, it can be produced by in vitro, by tissue culture techniques, certain tissue culture techniques by which we can produce forskolin, although the reported protocols are not suitable, or we can say that is not much available to produce the forskolin in industrial scale. So certain tissue culture techniques like shoot tip culture, root organ suspension and callus culture producing roots were established from shoot tip, root tip and hypocotyl segments respectively. About the extraction of forskolin, so dry roots, tuberous roots that we have discussed, dry roots of the plant were used to extract forskolin using toluene as a solvent. After concentrating the toluene extract, hexane is added to the concentrate followed by adding equal volume of water to the separating funnel and second well. So according to the procedure or protocol, we have to proceed. After some times, the mixture is allowed to settle and the hexane layer is separated, because here you have seen that after concentrating the toluene extract, hexane is added to the concentrate. So here after separation, when separation in a separating funnel, the hexane layer is separated until the free flowing wet powder is obtained. The process of washing with hexane is repeated. So repeatedly it is washed with hexane. The wet cake which is obtained in the process or during the process, the wet cake is dried followed by milling and sieving. Here milling is means it is to be pulverized after drying the wet cake, and sieving. Thus the obtained product is used to analyze the quality. Next is isolation. Several methods were adopted for the isolation of pure forskolin from the roots of Coleus forskolli. The methods include column chromatography, because these are the isolation process or isolation method by which we can separate or we can isolate the pure forskolin. Those methods include column chromatography, vacuum liquid chromatography, charcoal column chromatography, etc. Forskolin with a maximum purity of 98% weight by weight is obtained through the adsorption on a selective adsorptive ligand. Similarly, several analytical techniques like TLC, HPTLC, GLC, and ELISA are described for the quantitative determination of forskolin in standardized crude extracts and pharmaceutical formulations. So these are the various analytical techniques we can adopt for getting pure forskolin in the isolation method. About the utilization, various uses are there. Forskolin is used to treat eczema in cardiovascular disorders as a vasodilator, respiratory disorders, congestive heart failure, hypertension, painful urination, asthma, convulsions, insomnia, reduces intraocular pressure, hence used in glaucoma. Above all, for the prevention of cancer metastasis. So these are the various uses of forskolin. Next drug is diosgenin. Diosgenin is the main active constituents of the Dioscorea plant. About the biological source, it is obtained from dried tubers of plants Dioscorea deltoidea, Diasteria composita, and various other species of Dioscorea under the family Dioscoreaceae. About the production, fresh tubers are cut into small pieces and crushed, followed by the fermentation for 4 to 10 days. So 4 to 10 days are required for the fermentation of these tubers, which are cut into small pieces and crushed. The fermented mixture is then hydrolyzed with mineral acid. Because in the definition previously we have seen that any glycoside, this is a glycoside, any glycoside which are to be hydrolyzed, because without hydrolysis by either acid or enzymatic hydrolysis, so that cannot be possible to isolate the main active constituents which are mixed with other constituents of the composition. So we have to separate it or we have to isolate it. So the fermented mixture is then hydrolyzed with mineral acid, then filtered, washed and dried. So here we can see that sapogenin is water insoluble. Sapogenin, that is you can say one genin or the A glycan portion of the glycoside which is water insoluble. Another method, this is one method. Another method is to cut the tubers into small pieces, dried, powdered and hydrolysis of diosine is done by mineral acid, because whenever the drug is, this is one method, means it is dried or small, it is tubers are cut into small pieces. Here in another method, the tubers are cut into small pieces, dried, powder and hydrolysis of diosine is done by mineral acid to liberate the diosgenin. After filtration, the insoluble fraction is neutralized, washed and extracted with a non-polar solvent. So here non-polar solvent, either petroleum ether or toluene is taken for the extraction process, which will extract diosgenin. Next point is isolation. How to isolate the diosgenin from the tuberous root or the drug. The tubers are washed, dried, sliced and extracted with hot water or 95% ethyl alcohol for several hours. The alcoholic extract is concentrated under vacuum. So here in this process we can say, just like by using the Suckslate apparatus, what we do generally, the tubers are washed properly dried, properly pulverized or cut into small pieces, then they are extracted with hot water. Or so in case of suppose we take hot water, means aqueous extract, that can be said as aqueous extract, or they can be extract with 95% ethyl alcohol for several hours. The alcoholic extract is concentrated under vacuum, and the glycosides is precipitated with solvent ether or by lead acetate. So here I can recollect your memory that when I have discussed about the different process of extraction process and isolation process of glycosides, excess lead acetate is being taken. So here also in the isolation of diazoxanide, by taking lead acetate in case of acid saponin, followed by hydrolysis and extraction with petroleum ether, it is boiling point is 40 to 60 degrees Celsius. That is, this is one category, 60 to 80 or 40 to 60 degree Celsius having this petroleum ether, so its boiling point will isolate the diazoxanide. Next, about the estimation and analysis of diazoxanide which is being separated out or which is being isolated. So by two methods, we can say by TLC method and another one by HPTLC method, we can analyze the purity of diazoxanide which is being isolated. So by TLC method, the TLC profile is given as below. The solvent system, what solvent system we have taken? The two solvent system, two. One is chloroform is to ethanol with a ratio of 95:5, and chloroform with acetone with a ratio of 3:1, and the plates used, that is silica gel plates, and detecting agents means it is, we can say that is nothing but the spraying agents, because in order to see clearly the spot which is being obtained by TLC plate that is covered or that is prepared with silica gel. So detecting agents or spraying agents, antimony trichloride in chloroform. So antimony trichloride in chloroform, this is the spraying agents used, so that the spot which we get, it is very clear to understand, or clearly visible. By HPTLC method, HPTLC profile is as follows. The plates used silica gel G. Here the difference, here in TLC plate silica gel is only taken, and here in HPTLC method the plates used, it is covered with silica gel G. Mobile phase is N-hexane with ethyl acetate in a ratio of 4:2, and here spraying agent is taken 3 gram of antimony trichloride in 100 ml concentrated hydrochloric acid. So this is being prepared freshly, means 3% of antimony trichloride with concentrated hydrochloric acid is prepared freshly, and it is being used as a detecting agent or spraying agent. A green black color is formed which is scanned by using densitometer. About the various uses or utilization of diazoxanide, if we discuss, that is diazoxanide is the main raw material used in the synthesis of various corticosteroids, sex hormones and anti-fertility compounds. Secondly, it is also utilized for the treatment of rheumatic arthritis in natural hormone replacement therapy, HRT. Number 3 is also used for the relaxation of muscles, so muscle relaxant, it is used a muscle relaxant, and to promote glandular balance in women. Number 4, wild yam that we have discussed in the Dioscorea, when we discuss about the Dioscorea plant, its synonym is yam and rheumatism root. So wild yam is prescribed for the improvement of digestive system and as a nerve tonic. So this is all about the two drugs, forskolin and diazoxanine of Unit 3, Industrial Production, Estimation and Analysis and Utilization of these phytoconstituents. In my next slide, I will discuss about other phytoconstituents which are coming under Unit 3.